Activity log is a new application which is replacing the audit trail application. Activity log will still produce audit trail reports, but activity log is going to be a separate app that helps you explore what's been going on in your content instance. So let's take a sneak preview of how that works, and we'll talk through a few use cases of how you can use it. So this is the activity log view, and how you get to that from your instance, it's under reports. So if you came into the home page of your instance, you click into reports, and it's the first one on the reports list. We have activity log, metrics, and analytics. So activity log is going to show you everything that happens in your instance, and anything that is create, everything but read, but create, update, delete, and publishes all get shown inside of activity log and across all resources. So if you notice in the drop down, it lets you jump to specific resource types. So if we were to click on content, it's only going to show me content updates here. If I was to go to settings, it would show me settings updates. We had an issue the other day where we had a setting misconfiguration that was updated, and we were able to nail it down to exactly when it changed, who did it, had a conversation about why. So it was very useful. So let's just take a look at clicking into a resource. So when you actually drill down into a resource, you can then click into a resource and then see when it was modified. And you can see here that this was modified a couple days ago on August 4th in this stream. So over here you can see the people who are involved, and you can quickly click an email to email them. And it shows you a report of the time frame which you can see what happened. You can also click export audit trail report, which will generate this print to PDF report, which you can use for accounting purposes or any like audit if you want to record something and save it to PDF. It launches a print version view. There isn't much here. We'll look at one that has more, but you want to save the PDF, and I'll output a nice PDF for you. So going back into audit trail, into activity log, excuse me, you'll see that there's different options: sort by most recent, oldest first, or resource type. You can even drill into users, so I can look at myself here and see what I've been up to, some of the things I've changed in settings. And the app icon over here, it connects to the application on the left. So you have a cog for settings, the content edit, the pen, and the document. So you can just quickly associate what's what. And then you also have the code down here as well. So that's in the resources tab. And again, let's look at this one. This one should have some decent activity. So this is jumping into a resource, which is a piece of content, and you can see the history of the scheduling. It's published when it was modified, and there's different colors that denote when that actually changes. And you can see the history of this page. We changed this quite a bit, August 3rd, July, etc., back in the April. And the two people responsible on the page are myself and Katie, which is just really nice to see. And again, you can generate a report from this, and this will create a PDF. This is a lot more changes, so there's a little bit more in this report. But you get this page, you could print it, save the PDF, or just print it to document. So going back here, going back to the dashboard of activity log sends you here. You can also jump into users. Before you do that, you can see activity by resource. We have 14,215 actions, and it shows you the difference between schema and content and what those actions look like. So you can also click in the users, and you can see total actions and activity per user. Katie's particularly active in the last couple months, and you can drill into a user to see what they're up to. So you can click into the activity. Katie is changes a lot of content, so you see she's in the content app quite a bit. But she also commits schema for updates with the web development team, so you can see that here. A little highlight, and then again, any of these resources are going to drill down into that specific resource view, and you can use the back button as well. All these are linkable, so each one of these views has its own path, so you can actually link to it, you can share it in that way. So we go back to the activity log dashboard, click into timeline. It's just a different view of what's happening over time. Showing you action by users over here, and then insights, which gives you a little bit different, couple of different graphs and stuff to see what's happening, impacts, publishes, and then you could change the date range as well. Let's just see what happens there. So you see another 2,000 actions was added. It shows the distribution of who's most active in the page, in the instance itself. And you can drill this down by a specific person. So let's highlight Katie here. And it's showing her just Katie's specific actions. So it's a cool, fun little dashboard. You can look at just publishes purely, see how many publishes happen. So it's really insightful, fun little tool. So this is known as activity log, and it does interconnect now from different pages you work on. So if you're over here looking at a specific page, you can click view logs, this publish history and draft history, and it will launch you into that particular resource, so you can see all the logs for that resource. So it goes from giving you that snapshot to now seeing the full everybody's change and who's involved with that particular instance. So this is new activity log, love it. It also is following the new design direction. We've picked up a new UX designer, and he's been making updates. So you're going to see this style of design start to bring itself over to all the applications. What we have next up is we're going to be reworking this tab layout based upon feedback we got from our forums, and then redesigning actually the shell of the application after the tabs, and then jumping into redesigning content and then into schema. And eventually the whole entire application will have updates. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. If you guys have any questions, you can fire up. See a question in chat. Or it's not a question, it's a comment. It says I've already put this nifty app into good use. I have too. It's been super useful. The last version of this application, which we deemed Audit Trail, it wasn't nearly as robust. You couldn't drill in. But this one is very useful. And also just still getting those Audit Trail reports, which is typically a requirement, is nice to have, because usually the people who want to review the changes aren't the same people who work inside the application and have different use cases for the two. So it's nice to see. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Super happy about the activity log launching. Good work, team, on the Zesty side. Hope this finds any use. If you have any comments or feedback, you can leave it in our discussions on GitHub. You can also post in our user chat. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.